There's no difference between this game and West Ham or Liverpool game. It's all about scoring goals.
Right. No, because Brandon brought up a few things. Number one was the fact that, again, Jesus was getting offside a lot, and we haven't noticed him get offside a lot. That was the difference. Ben White was overlapping a bit more, probably more in the first half. That was something also that was kind of different. I didn't see that in those games you mentioned. Zinchenko was a bit better, not amazing. So there were some differences for me.
One touch, two touch football. We was moving the ball quickly. It wasn't slow and lethargic in transition. There was loads of differences today.
The center back was bombing up the pitch a lot in that first half.
There was loads of differences in today's performance compared to
I might be in the minority then, because I wasn't blown away by that performance, to be fair with you. I
wasn't either.
I'm ecstatic by the result, right? We got the 5 goals, we got the W, but I still see the same issues that have been plaguing this team since the beginning of the season and what I've been criticising. So, right, and I'm not part of Standard FC or I don't subscribe to their thinking, right? But I'm just saying, for me, I've always talked about performances and building on that. And for me, if you look at that first half in particular, from open play, we created almost nothing from open play, right? And that has been one of the biggest issues this season. Whether Jesus is on the last man or not, we still didn't do anything, right? And had we not scored from open, had we not been as clinical as we are from set pieces, how would we fare if the game was still...
Yeah, but that's if buts and maybes. The fact is we did score 2 goals from set pieces. You can't take away goals from them. That's like saying, we won a penalty, so we scored the penalty. That's the only reason we then gone and done...
about the whole overall performances, though, right? So we're isolating aspects of the performance. So you're talking about the actual corners. And yes, we've done well to score from them. But we could also look at how we attack outside of corners from open play and judge that fairly as well, right? And we could say how we attacked from open play wasn't good enough or at a standard of where we've seen in comparison to last year. Because last year we were very fluid, we were very direct, right? And the way in which we moved the ball forward, right, created teams a lot of problems. This year, we don't have that level of threat. And it's been like that since the beginning of the season.
I'll explain that as well.
I agree.
So the reason why that's happened is last season we weren't the threat we are. No one thought we were going to be title challengers. No one thought we'd be free flowing and scoring. What was it, like a record breaking season in the Premier League? Now teams have caught on to that. Teams are now starting to respect us more and they're starting to play low blocks. That is going to bring a different challenge. That's going to bring a different way of playing. And to break those low blocks, there's one of two things you can do. You can have technically gifted players who can weave in and out of tight spaces, do those quicker passes. You take out your Martinellis, you take out those players like Eddie Nketiah, and you bring in the likes of Jesus, you bring in the likes of Trossard, you bring in the likes of even Emil Smith-Rowe, those type of Fabio Vieira type players who can actually break those low blocks. Arteta, or maybe not, by fortune, we scored that set piece, which then allowed us to open Crystal Palace up because they had to come and attack us. And once they started attacking us, you're seeing the old Arsenal. You started seeing us free-flowing. You started to see us create more chances. You started to see us play on the transition. That's what we need to do more of. We need to attack these teams in the first 10 to 15 minutes and open them up. Even if you look at Man City against these low blocks struggle as well. Look at Crystal Palace last season, 2-2. So a lot of teams who played this model are going to struggle to low blocks until they bring those players in that can actually break them down, that can do those quick transition passes. This is where I'd say we needed a Thomas Partey more than we needed a Declan Rice, or we needed a Jorginho type player more than we needed a Declan Rice. But that's what's going to happen. We're respected as much as that's the hardest concept for us to grasp is teams are afraid of us. They know what we can do if they attack us. Crystal Palace seen it in the second half. As soon as they attacked us, we scored 3 goals.
Although I agree with you in regards to Thomas Partey, if you look at even like Liverpool, but how quick they move that ball forward, how vertical they are with their passing, it's not about. We've adopted the Man City model this year where we pass it side to side. We don't actually, when there's actually space to go forward, a lot of the times we keep possession and we build up slowly. And it's the reason why Terry earlier said they haven't scored any counter-attacking goals. Well, that doesn't surprise me because when you watch City, right, their whole philosophy is about keeping that ball and pinning teams in and then creating chance after chance, right? But for us last season, what I enjoyed about us is that we mix both what City do well and what Liverpool do well in terms of being very vertical, very direct. Now we've lost that aspect of our football this season, and that is what I'm criticizing because that was one of the reasons that made us, go up to Anfield or even at the Emirates do well against Liverpool. How direct we were. We weren't tippy-tapping it around and then slowly breaking teams down. So there can be a balance.
Anyone else here think? Sorry, I was just gonna ask this also. Anyone else think Palace are in real trouble here in terms of relegation?
They very well could be. The problem that they have this year is there's a couple of teams that are worse than them in the sense of Burnley, Sheffield United. Luton obviously play well. We've got to wait and see what happens with the points deductions as well for Forest and Everton, but they're definitely being sucked into that category now. There's no doubt about it. We have some more super chats here I want to look at. First one says, our set pieces have been consistent all season, though. If we are good at them, not sure how that's a complaint. It's one of our strengths. Play to it. I view it this way. I think it's right to say I want more goals from open play, but not criticize the penalties. So Bruno Fernandes got a lot of this from Man United fans. Oh, but penalties, though. Great. I like the fact he's scoring penalties. Let's get more open play goals as a team as well, but let's keep the penalties. So if you can keep this level of set piece goals and add one extra open play goal per game on average, you got a great chance of winning this title. I'm telling you, if you increase it by that level.
How many open play goals do we have? How many open plays goals
18,
do we have?
18. Oh. The best in the league is City with 35. So that's what I'm saying. If you'd have scored one more per game over the course of this season, you'd actually have more than them. So, 0.8 more per game, and you guys are cooking. Studio Hooks here says, angry Arsenal Alliance is still out. So they will. Listen, Arsenal fans can all believe and say what they want. Half of what we do as a job is fun, is the differences of opinions. It's only when it gets personal do I have a problem with it, because it's just a football opinion. It isn't that serious. You're right. You're right. Got son of goals. Different games call for different players. We need Trossard and Jesus for every low block team we face from now on, is what Robert's got to say. Mm-hmm. People moan about Odegaard, but he starts most presses.
I mean,
he starts
Odegaard. Sorry, go on.
No. All I was going to say is he starts most presses, but when he gets in front of goal, he makes wrong decisions. He doesn't shoot when he has to shoot. He doesn't pass when he has to pass. So it's okay to criticize players, even when we have a great victory like this. Yeah, we scored 5 goals. It's amazing, but you can't then go and completely look at the result in isolation and just be like, oh my God, yeah, we won 5-0, but not look at certain things that may become a problem later down the line. Odegaard is still disappearing in games. Yes, he might start off the press, but what does he do after that? Does he retrieve the ball? Does he ask for the ball? Does he move it forward? Does he pass it? Create a counter attack? Do you know what I mean? So it's a good
saying as well.
Sorry, I do disagree.
Odegaard's such an important cog in this team as well. If you notice, when Odegaard has a poor performance, 9 times out of 10, Arsenal don't perform very well either. Like today, you see the energy from him. He was pressing from the front. His little passes, his short passing, his long passing was very good. 9 times out of 10, when Odegaard performs well, Arsenal perform well. So he needs to be more consistent as well. But,
I also do think that he's kind of has a graveyard shift in that, because he's not playing with like a natural 8 next to him in Havertz. In that he's basically having to do everything. He's having to do everything in the final third. All the creative burdens on him, and he has to drop deep and get the ball from Rice. And he's having to go back and forth. Where last season he was a lot more, he had less creative burden. He had Granit Xhaka next to him, who had to do that job for him, and who helped a lot out. Yeah, helped out a lot. Yeah.
I hear you. Touchline Towel says it's fans like Sard why Arsenal struggle to progress. Your football takes are shocking. Typical Twitter fan, big man nitpicking for no reason. The 20 years with no title ain't on Arteta. It's on the club.
You could call it nitpicking.
You blamed Arteta. You blamed Arteta.
You've been done there, Sard. You've been done, bro.
You got body.
Bro, I'm so hurt, bro. I'm on the floor, bro. I'm on the floor, bro.
I don't know if this guy's only watched. I don't know if this guy's only watched Sard once, because as far as I'm aware, Arteta's Sard's guy.
Yeah, bro, I've been Arteta in. I've been Arteta in when I was getting pressured, bro.
There's a rumor that Sard was the guy that was holding the meat. There's a rumor.
You're such a fraud. Hey, Terry, after top 6 show, I don't want you to mention the beat anymore because that was crazy.
I got sent a video about you in the meet though. I'm gonna play it on another show that you're on soon. But listen, isn't it amazing how that like offended a lot of people? Now suddenly, right now, no one cares about him being fed meat by Salt Bay. It's all everyone's. That's fine. Do it more. If you win games, no one cares what you do. Emil Smith-Rowe should start more, and Rice is a huge miss for Arsenal.
Is he injured?
He said, you see in mouth, it says Mohamed, you guys don't play for another 10 days now. Rice will be back. Rice is one of those players that he could break a leg and it would heal in a week. Like, he's one of those people, he'll put a plaster on it. It'll be all right. Any changes for the lineup for the Nottingham Forest game? Would you make any changes to the lineup, Souls, or would you go with the same 11?
Oh, it's a tough one. I mean, I want to put Emil Smith-Rowe in Havertz's position just because of how positive of an impact he made. But again, I'm not in the medical team. I'm not in the backroom staff, so I don't know how fit he actually is. If Thomas Partey's back, I'd maybe like to see him play. But other than that, I don't think anything needs to change. Maybe Martinelli coming in because Nottingham Forest aren't, especially against us in the last sort of few games, they haven't actually sat back against us. So Martinelli could come in and make a positive impact in a game against Nottingham Forest. They're probably the only 3 considerations I've got, unless there's any major injuries.
I think Gabriel will be fit. Is he? Because he came off quite early. I mean, he came off with an injury, so
yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he'll end up being a bit like Rice. It'll probably just be precautionary, you would think, and whatever else.
They actually said to carry on playing, but they took him off anyway. He
signalled impact when he came off. Yeah. He was kept signalling impact to Arteta, so I don't think it's anything major. It was as if I think it was a clash with Mateta on the halfway line, so I think he'll be all right.
Black Pearl here says we probably saw the end of Roy. Yeah, look, Roy should never have come out of retirement. You know, I feel bad for him. It's like watching.
Is that why Graham Potter was at the game?
Yeah, look, listen, there's 2 things here. I want Graham Potter to become the Palace manager because I think at a club like that, it'll make them play really good football. Secondly, if he goes there, it means it's unlikely he's becoming our new manager. So please go Palace. That would be really good.
It would be. It's like the Poch thing, right? Because Palace and Brighton have that derby. That what is it, M62 or something? That no one ever thinks about that. So when the Palace fans like it, they're already pissed off. And so you're bringing in Graham Potter. I don't know if that would be. Steve Parrish would probably be dumb enough to do that.
No, do you know what? Like, I get you that there is that connection, but at the same time, it can go the other way because if you, for instance, start to deliver, then suddenly you're in a position where you can. It's funnier because imagine like right now, a lot of Man United fans wouldn't want to take. It's the M23 is the motorway, by the way. It's right by where I live. If Jurgen Klopp joined Man United right now, there's a lot of United fans that would say, you know, Liverpool scum, we don't want him. But if he started winning more with us than he did with them, it'd become hilarious.
Yes.
So it could work.
You guys need Mourinho back, I think.
Man United.
No, that's mine. Give me Mourinho. Give me Mourinho. I've been advocating.
Serious, right? Because Mourinho will clear out the shit at Man United. And
he had the opportunity, but he wasn't allowed.
He ain't got Paul Pogba there to blame anymore. So he's
but he has Luke Shaw.
Oh God! No, listen, I understand your logic. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want him anywhere near my club. Arsenal still clear. Something is missing. Centre forward. Would you all agree with that?
Yeah,
we definitely need a plan B. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. I do agree, but I don't think we were missing a centre forward today. Because I don't think that was the issue today. Because we were actually quite clinical, considering we didn't really create a lot from open play, at least. So,
in different games against teams that aren't as poor as Palace are, you're gonna need someone up front. I keep saying Jonathan David because he can do. He's not as good a footballer as not João Pedro. Gabriel Jesus. He's not as good as football, but he can link up. He's a good penalty taker, scores goals. That would be the guy, but he probably won't.
I think with the recent change, if you look at the recent change and with Gabriel Jesus obviously taking a more higher position in the pitch, sticking on the last man. You know what I mean? That's a definite positive because we could see I know we all laugh at Jesus. Oh, he can't finish. He said he wasn't a striker. Scoring goals isn't his great, his amazing thing. But if he does end up playing like this, and maybe this might be a change in his play style, he could start scoring goals for us. We could see a change in Gabriel Jesus. We've got to see how this turns out. If he keeps on doing this every game, he keeps on playing on the last man and trying to get in behind. I think we just have to see what happens, because I think this is definitely a good change. He was always, we're always complaining about him being in the midfield. This guy's going to have a conversation with Declan Rice.
Don't you think? I think with Jesus, the issue is that sometimes when he doesn't get the ball, and that's when he goes walking around because he wants to be involved in play. I think Jesus as a player, just having watched him, at City as well, when he's not involved in the game, that's when he doesn't have that discipline to kind of just stay up front like a Haaland, for instance. He will go searching for that ball.
I think that's when Arteta needs to get involved and be like, you know what? So you stay up front, yeah. When you feel like you're not getting the ball enough, maybe drop just a little bit. Just follow the line, because the line will drop if you're not getting the ball. If the ball's all the way in our half, the line is going to drop. Just stay with the guys, stay with the defensive line, and just wait for the ball to come to you. You don't have to. Let's try that out. Let's see how that goes for 2 to 3 games. Let's see how you react. Let's see how many chances you can get if you're sticking by the last man. That's when Arteta has to intervene for me and say, you know what, this is the tactic I want you to follow. This is what I want you to do. Can you do this for me, please? Thanks. And then that's when the manager has to get involved. If he wants to do something and the player can't be in control, the manager has to be in control. He's the gaffer.
Yeah, I hear you there.